All right, welcome back to Gotham Sound's coverage of NAB 2025. We're getting close to the end of day one, but we're saving some of the best for last. We have Chris Phillips from Sennheiser.
Hey everybody,
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm
Good.
good. It's a good first day.
Yeah. So look, we are going to talk about Spectera. We have the whole Spectera system set up behind here, but because I get the sense there's going to be a lot of questions, and I want to have all that together, let's talk about the 818 first.
Yeah, so we have a new stereo shotgun mic that is part of the MK8000 line, the MKH8018. Um, so it's part of the MKH8000 family, and as far as the functionality on it to make it a little bit easier to use, it can be mid-side, and then it also has an XY matrix. So we could do an XY wide or an XY narrow as far as the matrixing control on it. It also has a high pass and a 10 dB pad, but this is going to be great, out in the elements, out in the field. If you use MKH8060, it's going to have a similar sound to the MKH8000 line. Yeah, we're really excited about it. We'll have it live here at NAB where you can come listen to it, and then we'll be at Gotham Expo in a couple weeks, and we'll have the same setup there as well.
And you'll be at Gotham Expo,
I
right?
will, yeah, I'm
That's
excited.
great. Are you where are you based? Are you
I'm in Minneapolis.
Okay, so you're traveling to be here, you're traveling to be there, you're just
Yep,
traveling.
part of the gig, yeah.
Nice. All right. Rock and roll. Well, listen, anybody, if you have questions, please leave them in the chat. I'm excited about this. When I saw the spec sheet of this, I just assumed it would be another capsule-based mic, and it's actually really, it feels really cool. Like what is it? They not engraving. What powder coat? Powder coat, right?
Yeah, I think for all the MKH8000, we call it Nextel Gray. It's supposed to hide a little bit if it doesn't reflect and have any glare on it. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a good feeling, and it's nice to have the flexibility of the mics,
Yeah.
of the different patterns. So fantastic.
Cool.
All right, let's dive into the deep waters of Spectera. So what the heck's happening?
So Spectera is our first WMAS product. We've been kind of previewing it and talking about it for a while, and now this is the first trade show we've shown it in person. We'll have it at the Gotham Expo as well. But quick summary: last year in February, they changed the regulations with the FCC, where now we could do multiple channels on a wider carrier. So Spectera is a bi-directional system. The audio can on the 6 megahertz wide carrier can be used for microphones, can be used for IFB, can be used for in-ear monitors, can be used for instruments, and it's sharing that 6 megahertz carrier and going back and forth. The control is also bidirectional, so we're able to monitor things we couldn't before, and that's all over the same link. As part of the setup, and just a quick overview of it, the hardware that would go in a rack is one RU, and we could do 32 inputs of audio and 32 outputs of audio in this one RU rack. The body packs, and this is our first mobile device. We don't have a handheld transmitter yet, but it's coming eventually. It has a headphone preamp for IFB or IM, and it also has a 3-pin LEMO for microphones, and it can be a both at the same time. Antenna infrastructure, we use category cable now. So instead of using 50 ohm coax and worrying about setting up multi-zone systems that way, we would run another coax cable. We can go up to 100 meters as far as the run. And if we use fiber converters, we can go up to 4 kilometers over single mode fiber for an antenna run.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and it's a different way of thinking about it. You have a set amount of resources that are spread across this 6 megahertz channel, and you're able to do multiple channels over that. So you could do, with this system at launch, 32 inputs, 32 outputs. So 32 mics and 16 stereo IFBs if you want to. That kind of thing.
So the IFB can actually be, it's got a stereo carrier built in.
It's 2 separate carriers, so we actually get a full binaural spread. It's not a companded, trying to get a narrow image over the air,
Huh.
we could do full stereo audio over it.
So does that mean that this has, I mean, I understand that this is all YMASP, so it's got one microphone preamp built in,
Hmm.
right? And then it's got two line out or headphone outputs,
Yep.
discrete, left and
Yeah.
right.
And you can also use it mono. So in the software, you can set it up for different qualities, and not it's gonna not translate. But if anybody on the call uses Soundbase, there's a free tool which shows how we can apply the different links, and you can kind of go in here for free and build a system if you want. But for instance, the lowest latency that we can do on an IEM, for instance, is 0.7 milliseconds on a stereo IEM.
It's pretty low.
And we could do 4 of those over the 6 megahertz carrier. So pushing the latency down that far takes up more resources. With the same quality, we could do 16 stereo IEMs at 1.6 milliseconds of latency. So not that much more, but you can kind of see how it scales up and down depending on the links that you need. And every separate link, whether it be the microphone or the IEM, you can set up individually.
Got it. And is this, oh, this is just a block for
This
the
is
Limo
this is a
connector.
little cap that we hope people don't lose, but we sell spares if they do. But it kind of covers the Limo connection to keep it, you know, dust free and clean. So
That's clever. That is great.
yeah.
And then, so this is the interface here.
We have 3 different softwares that we're showing here today. So there's a web interface. This would be you navigate to it with a browser, and this is going to be communicating directly with the base station. Another software that runs on PC and Mac is LinkDesk. This allows you to build productions, we call them, which is kind of scene-based control. So with the bidirectional control, you can take resources from one pack and give it to another pack over the air. And this allows us to build scenes. So if you had a news station, if one show finished, you could take the resources from that talent and give it to another talent over the air with the system.
I see. So it's if you're not using all 32 at once, for instance, you could.
If that was your need, but you can also leverage the time domain to reallocate resources as needed. You know, bands in a festival, you know, they can share the system in that regard.
Yeah.
And then the last software, which I don't have live on here, but we have around there, is Soundbase is showing how they're controlling Spectera as well. So we have these 3 software platforms that when this is available really soon, we will, you can kind of choose what works best for you.
Great. Fantastic. I think we had a question in here about phantom power. I believe they're asking about the 818 that uses 2 channels of 48-volt phantom, right? Because
it does, yeah. So the side capsule and the mid capsule each need a 48-volt phantom power channel.
Okay.
And it's a 5-pin XLR on the back.
Yeah. And then if just in case, if Kyle was asking about Spectera, is there phantom power in the Limo or it's 5-volt bias?
It's a lavalier bias,
Okay.
so I think it's 7 volts.
Great.
Like 5 to 7.
And then in terms of, you know, let's just talk about the ins and outs, because so this is a representation of what's on the back, right? So you've got the redundant power supply.
Yep.
And then this is 4 different antenna zones.
Yeah. So we've kind of since EM1046 or 9000 series, we've had these systems where there's kind of a lot of eggs in one basket, and so we are sensitive about the redundancy part of it. So we have redundant power. You could do redundant antennas. So each base station can do 2 of these 6 megahertz carriers with those resources to apply your audio links. And you can assign any of the 4 antennas to any of those RF carriers. You can also have the antenna, if you want, act as a wideband scanner. So you can see NAB, a lot of stuff going on here.
Which one are you?
We are this one right here. So it looks kind of like a DTV station without the identification flag. But if you use it as a wideband scanner, the filter sets aren't set on there. Once you tune it to a channel and set an antenna to it, it applies narrowband filters to protect it from adjacent noise.
Got it. Okay. That's great. Sorry, can you go? So you mentioned two 6 megahertz carriers. So you can actually use 12 megahertz on a single station. Is that right?
You can
Oh,
the so kind of the bumpers that you run into. It has 32 input, 32 output. It has multiple audio interfaces, but that's what it can process
I see.
on the audio side.
Uh-huh.
So those could be either MADI or Dante. There's no analog ins and outputs on it. It has up to two of those 6 megahertz channels that you could spread those resources over.
Mm-hmm.
So you could use all four antenna ports on one RF carrier to get more coverage. That system has three connected to it, and we can walk the majority of this hall with those antennas we did earlier, and that's working pretty well. Or you can assign one of the antenna ports to be a wideband scanner too.
Ah, uh-huh. Okay.
And then eventually, so then also Dante and two MADI card slots, which could be fiber or coax MADI. Eventually, we have this Cascade port, which will have SFP modules that we'll put into them, where we'll be able to scale this system up. So you'll be able to add more antennas, more audio I/O, and more RF carriers if needed.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll be able to use those resources between base stations. But at launch, that won't be active. Um, and then there'll be two frequency ranges we can operate. Unlicensed in the UHF spectrum, we can go 470 to 608, and we can operate in the unlicensed part of the duplex gap.
Mm-hmm.
Under 608, we can go up to 100 milliwatts with the uh, uh, current regulations unlicensed. And in the duplex gap, the whole system will drop down to 20 milliwatts. We'll also eventually have a version in 1 gig 4 in the aft track range, which will use smaller antennas and different filter sets. That you will need a Part 74 license to operate there.
Got it. Okay. And then, so another question from online. When is the handheld expected to launch for Spectera? And also, when is Spectera expected to start shipping?
Spectera, you can expect it to start shipping soon. So we'll have an announcement pretty soon. Hopefully, we'll know more by Gotham Expo. So
Nice.
maybe check with us there.
Okay.
But soon. The handheld is a ways out. So we're still working on it. We have we have prototypes that we're testing and it works. We want to have it have a nice finish.
Mm-hmm.
We want to have the command channel working for talkback so it works in full broadcast workflows and talking to your monitor engineer for a musician.
Got it. And so and Brigitte, do these antennas, can they work like in different zones? So let's say you had one in one studio and you had one in another studio. Will it provide additional coverage, based on range?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So right now we have 4. Eventually you'll be able to zone it more once we have this SFP. But they are all clocked and time aligned together.
Mm-hmm.
The transmission scheme is a TDMA scheme. That's how we can share the carrier and get bidirectionality on it.
Mm-hmm.
But you can zone out different studios by running another Cat5 or a fiber and adding an antenna. With the wider carrier, we're also using OFDM. So one antenna is equal to about 30 times diversity with a narrowband carrier. So in many applications, especially in a studio environment, it benefits from reflections. You may be able to use one antenna, and use more for zoning, or redundancy.
All right, fantastic. I don't have any more questions online yet, but if you do have them, leave them in the chat. I mean, this is a lot to process. It's a very different way of thinking.
Yeah.
Is there anything you feel like you've left out or people should know? And to be fair, a lot of the people on the stream, and maybe I'm wrong, are maybe used to, working either on a large sound cart, but that's DC powered, or in a sound bag. This is not quite sound bag ready, but could you see this for use on a film set?
Yep.
Yeah.
So right now this is the first version,
Mm-hmm.
but we actually heard that a lot when we did the stream on this earlier with Gotham, that it would be good to have DC power options. So the team that's developing Spectera
Mm-hmm.
has a list of requests, and they're not going to dissolve the team. So there'll be a WMAS Spectera ecosystem, and then we'll have our narrowband development as well. So that one has definitely been noted that we need to look at other form factors for the receiver. We're definitely going to get a handheld, maybe a tiny, wig-based body pack for Broadway
Okay.
first, but it's something that we definitely heard on
Oh,
that, and
that's
so we're
cool.
looking into it.
Boy, that would be what a great thing that you could have in-ear monitor, wireless, and a mic right up here, all in a wig.
So that one.
Uh-huh.
So if we do a smaller, and we're
Uh-huh.
looking for feedback, a small pack, we lose the headphone pre. So
Well,
it may be just a microphone.
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sure it's great.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, perfect. Peter, is there anything you want to add? Is there anything that you want to add, Kristen? You're okay? All right. Lauren? Tobias? Nick? No. Okay, great. I think we're good. Thank you so much, Chris. Really appreciate the time. Thanks for
Yeah.
walking us through the 8018 or 818
Yeah.
and the and Spectera, and I'll look forward to digging into this in New York.
Yeah,
And
we'll have this there as well. So if you think of questions, it is a thinker because it's a
uh-huh,
different. So if you have questions, just meet us there, and it'll be fun. So.
absolutely. Okay, perfect. For more videos like this, go to gothamsound.tv. You can follow us on any social media you can think of. And if you have any questions, please email us at gothamsound.com. And also, if you are thinking about buying or renting high-end audio equipment like this, please consider Gotham Sound. See you on the next one.